parts.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Is it still recording?
Is it recording now? Yeah. We had to restart it because mine stops in an hour.
Oh. Yeah. So it wasn't so much as putting my job in jeopardy, but it was putting my reputation in EMS. And when you get a stigma like that in my line of work, it doesn't just negatively affect you, it negatively affects your ability to go get another job. And when people start noticing that, okay, you show up lights and sirens to a code or a car accident or something like that, like, hey, I know that guy, he's in my AA, he's an alcoholic, why is he here?
Yeah.
Is he drunk now? Am I getting proper care? Is
different
he
when you work at Wendy's.
Yeah. And so I stopped going. Also, that same night the next day, I got a hold of our pastor. And that man, the butterfly effect. One little thing happens that starts a chain event of everything. That man was placed in our lives before I even realized he was placed in our lives. Yeah, Sara tried getting me to go to church over where we're at now, and I reluctantly went, and I was in this place of critiquing people, and I've always believed in the Lord, but I was looking at the pastor thinking, oh, this guy's got this and this and this problem. I don't want somebody with all these problems giving me my word. And I felt in my mind, and the state I was in was, the word I'm getting is tainted because it's coming from a tainted person. In my mind, I believed to receive the word of God, you had to be a perfect person. And I wasn't realizing that we're humans and everybody's flawed. And that was a big shock right there. And I never really had a gripe about the church we're at. Everything about it was just awesome, just as it is today. Now, there are other churches that we went to that there are people in the congregation that I know from being out in society. So one of the downsides of being in my line of work is you meet people for the first time, usually on the worst day of their life. And if you really want to know what somebody's made out of, if you want to know what somebody's real human nature is, experience them in a traumatic situation, because your true colors are going to shine every time. And unfortunately, being in fire and EMS, you meet these people for the first time and you get to see their true colors off the bat. And then you go to church and you see them and you think, oh, well, I just seen this guy, he OD'd last week, but now he's in church being all holier than thou. But I still wasn't registering in my mind that they're still humans. We're still people. We're still healing in our own way. Okay?
Yes,
I'm sure the camera picked that up.
That was my throat.
Was it? Greetings from the interior. But I never had a problem with pastor. I was legitimately going to this church trying to find something to nitpick it for. And I never did.
And you went alone too.
Yeah. After everything happened that first Sunday, I got myself up and I found the best clothes that I possibly had. I don't have a lot of nice clothes because most of my life has been spent messy, dirty, and all my clean clothes were work uniforms, and I'm not going to show up with a billboard, and that's not good. So I got the nicest clothes I could possibly paint onto myself. Man, they were so tight. And said, that's it right now. Starting, come to church, fixing myself. And that was the big thing, is when everything happened, I was wanting to fix us. My marriage was the most, and still is the most important thing, but I wasn't getting it through my thick head.
I should have.
I didn't know if it stopped recording when you had a phone call.
Oh, no, it's still rolling. I can see it.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that I needed to fix me. And at that point in time in my healing, it was, I need to fix our marriage. I need to fix our marriage. Because in my eyes, couples work things out together. Mm-hmm. And we come back together and we work on our things together. And my thought process was, I can't fix me without her, because she is me. And it took a few weeks of just wanting to fucking die emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, any way in life, being without her.
Yeah, you had messaged me before I did the whole no contact. Yeah, I remember specifically you'd say there's always a seat waiting for you when you're ready. Mm-hmm. That was before the message that turned it around. But keep going.
And near the end, like before she she's the one that contacted me. I was to the point to where I was. You did what? January 5th, she's the one that messaged me.
You did what?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No, I thought he messaged you and you just texted him back.
No.
I was actually starting to get.
I thought I told you that.
No. Mm-mm.
I was actually starting to get happy with myself.
Surprise.
I was going to the gym multiple times a day. I was down almost 40 pounds. I got my mile on the treadmill under 10 minutes, which was, and I started at 309 pounds and down to 272, and I was running right at, I still got it on my phone. I hit the mile right at 10 minutes. And I thought to myself, I'm going to take a 5-minute break and I'm going to run another mile and I'm going to get it under 10. I'm going to be 270 pounds plus running a sub 10-minute mile. And
we really didn't see his process of healing. I seen yours. But Bob and I were, talking, and he was saying that he was losing weight and
while I'm running wild, he's fixing himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a kind of flip flop, and
we weren't that wild. I mean,
I was getting there.
We were having fun, but I don't think
had God not put the full stop on me.
Well, I will say this: if it's not too much, she was the one that did go several cities away to meet up with an old flame at a bar, and they had communicated before about physical things over the phone.
I don't know what they talked about. I just know that she asked me to go to this bar with her, and I said my only rule is that if you go with me, you leave with me. Mm-hmm. And she said, I'm okay with that. And we went, and I had a friend come with me, and
a tall, scary friend.
It didn't take long for Sarah to fully know that that's not where she needed to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we pretty much had fun dancing on the dance floor the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was right about the time that I was getting in my head, like, you know what, it's been a month. Maybe it is over. I'm in a better place. I'm not fully healed. I'm still not fully healed. It's still a daily process. Mm-hmm. And it's been a year and a half almost.
But I honestly think if you hadn't gone through that alone...
Oh, I'd be dead by now. I'd have drunk myself to death. I was so close to another heart attack.
If there wasn't that e-stop.
And I was to the point to where I was fully in my brain that, like, if she contacts me and says, hey, let's do this again, I'm telling her no. I was okay with where I was at in life to a point, and I was fully set on, it's either going to be her or nobody. And I'd had it in my mind. I'm like, look, I went and I took ACLS, passed it. I'd made the decision to go get paramedic. And then after that, it was going to be flight. And then I was just going to spend the rest of my life single, building hot rods and making money. And that was that. And I was sitting at work one day in the boss's office and just sitting there chilling with her, talking with her. And I get this text message from her. Why'd you choose me? It's like, this is out of the ordinary. There's no contact. My pulse immediately went through the roof. And I thought, I'm going to have another heart attack. Like, I could feel my body getting flushed. I felt my pulse go through the roof. Felt my blood pressure start to climb. And my blood pressure was so high, I was naturally in the 220s, 230s, over diastolic 150, 160. I mean, I was living at stroke level. And over the course of the last 5 weeks, I'd limited my caloric intake to between 400 and 500 calories a day, 0 carbohydrates whatsoever. I was so far into ketosis that I could spit at one of those urine sticks from across the room and it would turn purple. And my muscle was thickening up, and my blood pressure had gotten so far down to normal that any little fluctuation in my pulse or blood pressure, I could immediately feel it, and it felt horrible. And she sent me that text, and I was like, so I stopped. I immediately prayed. How do I respond? And then I responded. Not knowing that she'd already communicated with Bob.
No, that was after we messaged.
Was it?
When we had planned to set up. And I had talked to my dad, and during this time, my dad stayed in contact with you.
Yeah.
Checking in on you.
And that, to me, honestly, other than losing you, that was another thing that hit me hard because I don't have family. I've got my cousin Rodney and my Aunt Rhonda. To me, my mom's non-existent. So I never ever had a good family. And my grandparents have been long dead. And your mom and dad, as weird as it sounds, being married to their daughter, I still consider them my parents, which in a weird way sounds kind of sick, but
sorry,
I'm sure people understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, what do I do? Me and Bob had already made a plan to go out that night. It was going to be my first time going out.
I had no idea that they were going on a date.
I didn't know I was going on a date.
Yeah, have no idea.
Me and Bob had planned it like a week before. He's like, hey, we're going to go out and shoot pool.
I was planning on going to karaoke.
And it was more of a test in my sobriety.
Where was I?
Sorry, we're scrolling for a second.
Yeah, because the whole time you were healing here, we worked 2 different shifts. So the only time we ever see each other was our days off and our weekends off.
Didn't you have to work early?
She was going behind your back cheating on you.
Yeah, she was. She didn't tell me she was going on it.
Now I'm just a cheater.
No, because I had planned on going karaoke.
We have the same days off.
I know, but I don't remember why you didn't go. I think I asked you.
I think it's probably with... Oh,
you didn't plan on going karaoke with Bob.
To the comedy thing. Mm-hmm. With Austin and...
yeah.
So Casey and...
So you had plans. Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay. So I didn't cheat on you. That's
okay,
right.
That's right.
Okay, me and Bob had planned to
but
go
I didn't
out.
know that you were going on a date until you said that Matthew was going to be there.
It wasn't
and then
a
she
date.
walked out the door like it was just some casual conversation. I'm like, so she leaves and I call Bob. I'm like, excuse me? Are we okaying this?
Me and Bob planned on going out. It would be my first time going out. We're going to go to a place where there was liquor. Mm-hmm. We're going to test my sobriety. And because I was gym, work, Bob's house, and home. Mm-hmm. And I lived a very structured life. Like, I came home, I had things that I had to do before I went to bed. And put myself on a militaristic style lifestyle. And Bob's like, you need to get out. Because all you're doing is work, here, home. You need to get out and do something else. You need to heal in other ways. And we already planned on going out that night. And then she said, I'm ready to face you now. And in my mind, I'm like, this is it. This is where I find out when she's filing for divorce. This is when I find out, you know, what she wants out of the house and how we're separating things. And
she didn't come home for 3 days. My house. She didn't come home.
Yes, she did.
No, she did not.
She was home that night.
Yeah.
She was home that night.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
I didn't see
I wasn't the only wild one that time, okay?
I didn't see her for like 3 days.
This floozy was out running around like a dog on a leash. Like, took off after a squirrel and the owner let go of it. She's running around the block with her leash dragging behind her.
Yeah, you had to leave me with Bob to watch me during that time.
Where are you going?
You guys keep scrolling. I'm going to go urinate.
I do need another drink. Do you have anything?
Yeah, there's tea and Dr. Pepper now.
Ooh, tea.
Come on.
Fart
In the camera.
We need to check our phone.
Yeah.